you can state what you want your dream life to be and put that out there. And then you can bring that to reality, literally anything you want. That is meditation. It's telling your brain, we're coming into the present moment. We're not going to think right now about the past or the future. We're here thinking about becoming who you want to become. You have to remind yourself over and over and over again. And the more you do it, then the easier it becomes. And then pretty soon, over time, you've changed who you are. That's literally the secret. I am choosing to be present right now with my family. You know, when you do those things, it does make you feel more alive. Embodied CEOs don't chase trends. They pave the way. They lead from within, moved by purpose, unshaken by noise. When you are the source, you do not need permission. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the podcast. I hope you guys are having an incredible week. Part of me feels like I'm going to start annoying people with how much I'm like, life is so amazing. Oh my gosh. My family will ask me, or my friends, like, how's everything going? And every single time my response is like, so good, so incredible. And it doesn't mean that I don't have challenges or stress that might come up or things that are happening, but I just feel such a joy for life, and such a just knowing that, like, I'm just so grateful. I don't know. And there are so many things. I was literally just messaging with my team. My team actually just sent me a message and was like, I don't know what it is, Emily. Maybe it's all your meditation, but these things keep happening that are crazy. So we are hiring a lot right now. We're building for a next really big evolution in the company. And I swear to you, every single person that we've found that has come, to the final interview and through the process with us in various positions has said something like this. Your email came into my inbox that you were hiring, and I never thought that I, would want to get a job because I was an entrepreneur and I might be shifting my business or whatever their story is. But something along the lines of, your email or your job posting came across and I wasn't really expecting it, but it just felt so right. And it felt like exactly what I needed. And these like dream candidates are coming in multiple positions in our company in this way. And I'm like, it's not an accident, you guys. It is not an accident. Like, this is real. And yes, I am spending hours a day meditating, and I'm in a different energetic field, 1000%. Like, it's real. It is so real. And my team's like, maybe we need to start meditating all the time. Like, this is crazy. It's almost creepy, but also you realize how real this stuff is. And so, our talent in our company is one of the most important things because we're a service business. So the talent that we have to deliver our service is so critical, and we're constantly looking for good talent and like the most incredible team. And we've just had all these instances where it just is handed to us, and it's pretty special. So I literally just got that message from my team, and I'm like, and isn't it so obvious that God, the universe, is giving us this? And then the next thing this is going to be related to is our actual sales and business growth in everything that we're building. Like, he's giving us the foundation right now, and now that's the next level. Pretty cool. So today's podcast episode, I wanted to talk about 6 practices, 6, not things, but either rituals or practices or intentions that I have right now in my life to really be able to embody having it all. That is one of my core values. It is something that a lot of people not look to me for, but I'm used as an example. I was just at a baby shower last weekend, and a group of women, and multiple times different women in the room who knew me were like, Emily is the example of having a kid, having a 7-figure successful business, being in the best shape of her life, and living her dream. And for that to be like the way people reference me is, I'm so honored when people do that, because that is my core value. My core value in life is that it's not this or this, it's always and in every area. And that is how I live my life, is I will be a present mom with my kids. We will have experiences, we will travel, and I get to give them a life where they are homeschooled and we have this incredible time. And also, I will have an 8+ figure business. I do have a successful business that allows me to live this life of my dreams. I am in the best shape of my life. I train 10 hours a week. I meditate 2 hours a day. Like I am emotionally, spiritually, physically, mentally the best self that I can be today, and present with my kids, and there for my husband, date night, constantly working on our relationship. You can have it all in every area of your life. That is a core value of mine. So these practices are specifically related to that. And if you're listening to this and you're like, wow, that sounds so nice. I wish I had that in my life, or I wish that I, could have that. And there's a lot of people who don't believe that that's possible. And I am telling you it is. You can state what you want your dream life to be and put that out there. And then you can bring that to reality, literally anything you want. And this is not like, oh, I just realized this when I went to Dispenza. This is something that I have believed since I was a kid and is a core part of when I started my business. And I started my business as, 20-year-old new mom. And everybody said, you're not going to have money. You're going to struggle. Your kid's not going to see you because you're going to have to work. You're going to have to put them in daycare. Like life is going to be so hard. And I was afraid, like, don't get me wrong, there was fear around that. But I said, why? Like, if I create my reality, then I'm going to create it so that's not it. And that's what I did. And also, I think it's important to say this, that I don't have all of this because I have money. I slowly built all of this. And your version of have it all is going to be different in different seasons of your business and different seasons of your life. But you can still create a reality where you have it all in the season of life that you're in. And when I first started my business, we had no money. We lived in a tiny, tiny master bedroom turned into a studio. And even then, I still was able to have my time that I worked, have my time taking care of the baby. Was it messier? 100%. Did I probably not take care of myself as well then? No, I didn't. I didn't work out and eat as healthy as I do today. So it's been an evolution, and it doesn't happen overnight. But also, I don't like it when people look at it and go, oh, well, you can have that life because you have money. You can pay for help and you can do this. Yeah, now I can. But I built it and started from the ground up, and so can everybody else. So here's the 6 things that I do on a daily, weekly basis. Number 1, I'm going to mention is meditation. I know we've been talking about it a lot, and there's a couple of things I want to specifically mention that have come up since I released the episode about Joe Dispenza. So right now in this season of my life, I'm meditating 2 to 3 hours a day, and they're very deep. I leave my body. Like just this morning, I had an experience, and it's wild. Like I literally leave my body. I can't feel my body, and I turn into energy, and it doesn't last very long because I'm working on it. But because as soon as it happens, my brain goes, "Oh my gosh, you've left your body," and then I come back. So it probably lasts, like, I don't know what time is during them, but it probably lasts for like 20 seconds, and I'm trying to keep it longer, but it's very deep. And I share that because I've gotten a lot of questions for people who are like, what is your meditation experience like? And someone messaged me yesterday and said, what do you experience when you meditate? Because I want to know if I'm doing it right. So I do want to talk about that. However, I also want to say a stillness practice and meditation has actually been a core value and core priority of mine for a very long time. Years, because there is so much power in stillness. However you want to do it. It can be 10 minutes. It can be a breath work. It can be you go for a walk with no stimulation. I don't care. Whatever's the right thing for you in this season. But having a time, a moment for yourself every day where you tune everything external out and you actually go inward is the secret weapon. Like even if it's 10 minutes, and for the longest time, that was my non-negotiable. I am in a season of my life now, and I hope I never leave this season of wanting and doing this and staying committed to this, where I want hours of meditation a day because I am going so deep and I am really deepening my practice. But 2 months ago, if I got a 30-minute meditation in a day, that was like an incredible day. That was like my longest one ever. And I some days would just do 5 or 10 minutes. So I say that because you don't have to do 2 hours a day, and you don't even have to, meditate if you don't want. You can go for a walk, just have nothing going. You can drive in silence if you want. Even that is a good form of stillness. And I do that sometimes. If I have to come up with an idea and process something, I just did it. I drove and got my lunch at my studio, and I drove in silence for 10 minutes and 10 minutes back, and I came up with everything I needed to think about. So it doesn't have to be exactly what mine is. And I know I'm talking a lot about meditation, and I'm talking about a lot of meditation. And I know for a fact, if someone 2 months ago even said to me, Emily, you should meditate for 2 hours a day, I would have been like, absolutely not. And so everybody's process is their process. And I will never tell you you have to do something just like me. However, a stillness practice with no stimulation, no music, no podcasts. You can do a guided meditation, that's fine. But a stillness practice where you go inward and you are with yourself every single day is extremely powerful. My meditation, I'm going to answer this question because I've gotten it a few times. How are they? What are they like? I am not sitting there in this perfect stillness where I'm just present the entire time. You want to know what my meditations are like right now for an hour and a half? It's back and forth of I'm fully present, I'm in the moment, I leave my body, I just pay attention to my breath, and then my brain goes, oh, and you have to send that email today, and don't forget to follow up with this, and you should ask the team member this. Oh, shit, I'm my brain did it again, come back. And I do that over and over and over again every meditation. And I have meditated for over 100 hours since the Dispensa event, and my brain's still doing that. And some days it's more, some days it's less. Sometimes at the night it's less. Sometimes in the morning it's more, because I think my brain's like, come on, we got to go. We got to start the day. These are all the things that we have to do. So the point in meditation is not perfection. It's not getting to the point where you don't do that and you don't have those thoughts. And I think a lot of people think I suck at meditating because they do that. No, that is meditation. It's telling your brain, we're coming into the present moment. We're not going to think right now about the past or the future. We're here. And then your brain's going to sneak in a little bit and drop a thought, something you have to do or something you forgot or a random memory. It's the weirdest things. Lately, too, I've had like really old memories just like pop up in my brain. And so when that happens, I don't get frustrated. I don't get mad. I don't put too much energy into it. I do kind of notice it like, oh, that was interesting that you decided to come up with that memory. For me, a lot of times what my brain does is think about the things I need to do because I'm such a doer. So it's constantly like, oh, you forgot about this email or this idea or this thing, or you need to tell this team member this, or I'll think about my training that I have to do the next day. Our brains are wild. And I just bring it back and I bring it back and I bring it back to the present moment. And over time, I've gotten better. But some of my meditations are really horrible, not horrible, like there's no bad meditation, but some of my meditations, I have a harder time with this than others. And it's still like, that is the practice. And I think that it's in the attainment, right? It's not about getting somewhere. It's actually about the process. So for me right now, meditation is number one priority in my day, my training and my meditation and time with my family. A stillness practice, though, as a founder, as a CEO, as someone who wants to have it all in your life, you've got to have clarity and you've got to have the practice of going inwards because you have all the answers. And a lot of times we're so clouded with noise that we're not connected to those answers. Second practice that I have started doing is, it's kind of like a hack. An intention of mine is to be really present. And something that I struggle with is my phone, as I think all of us do. If my phone is out of sight, then I'm pretty good. I can be present. However, I would say one of my biggest challenges is at the end of a work day when I've already mentally really put a lot of energy into work. My brain has a hard time switching, has a hard time transitioning from that to the slower pace that is family time. And so I'll notice I can be present, but my brain is not present. My thoughts are somewhere else. Or I am picking up my phone and for some reason deciding to open Instagram and start scrolling. So I started doing this thing where I will say out loud what I'm doing to actually make sure it's what I want to do, that I'm intentionally doing it. So if I pick up my phone and I start scrolling Instagram, I literally will say, and I'll be like, I'm choosing to scroll Instagram right now. And then if I'm not, I put it down. Or if I'm in the middle of family stuff and I'm thinking about something, I'll tell myself, I am choosing to be present right now with my family. Maybe I don't say it out loud every time because I might sound like a crazy person if I'm in the middle of a game with my family and I'm like, I'm choosing to be present right now. But I do say it out loud sometimes, and then I say it to myself, because what it does for me is just like this trick that I figured out, that by stating that, I'm like telling my brain, no, this is what we're doing. And so when I start to go subconscious and pick up my phone and get, when you pick up your phone, it's like you're going to do something and you end up on Instagram, or you're just scrolling when you're standing in line and you just pick up your phone and start scrolling. I will say to myself, I am choosing to do this. And then if that's not what I'm choosing to do, I will change what I'm choosing to do. And for me, it's working. So a big intention of mine in my days is to be present, whatever I'm doing, whatever's right in front of me. And so this has worked to bring me to the present moment. I think that's why it works, is because by stating what I'm doing, I'm now in the present moment and I'm not doing it subconsciously. The next thing I've been doing every morning, which is not a new thing, but I think it deserves a spot on this podcast because it is so important, is taking inventory of my day every single morning in terms of what I'm committing to for my team and my to-dos, what's on my calendar, and basically how everything's going to fit in my day. When you have the goal of having it all, I feel like your life is like a game of Tetris sometimes, where, each day I have these buckets I want to fill. I want to train and fill my health bucket. I want to meditate. I want to have unplugged present time with my kids. I want to connect with my husband, and then the business needs me, right? So every single day I'm filling those buckets, sometimes more than others. And so every day when I look at my day, I will not start my day until I have, and it takes me 5 minutes, it's not even a long time, but take an inventory of each of those things. Some of them are just habits. They just happen every day. My meditation right now, it's a habit. I literally get out of bed and I start meditating. At night, after dinner, before the kids go to bed, I go upstairs and I meditate. So it's very habitual right now. It's happening at the same time. I don't really have to take inventory of it. But my kids' schedule and my time with my kids and what needs to get done in the business and the time I'm going to go to the gym and how long I'm going to be at the gym, all of those things are changing from a day-to-day basis. So every day I have a notes app, and I've got 2 notes that I reference. One is my business to-do list, ongoing running to-do list. This is what I have. And I've got like immediate, parking lot, come back to it later ideas, and notes on there. And then I have the personal. So every week I update it. It's like things I need to do: book a flight for the family, kids' passport appointments, buy a baby shower gift, whatever. I have 2, personal, business. I look at those every day and I make one to-do list, which is what I'm getting done in the business, what I'm getting done for the family. And that's all I do. That is my focus. And for me, I cannot even start my day without that, because I won't know what to do. And I'll end up getting pulled into Slack and getting pulled into email and letting those things run my day versus me running my day. So having that, and then I'm going to talk about one more thing that I've been doing that I reference. And so I do that every single day. And that is how I look at all of those buckets and I make sure that they are going to be fulfilled. And then I'll have different recurring things. Like, for example, date night once a week. That's already on the calendar scheduled. My meditation, it becomes a habit, because the more things I can put in like that, the more that I don't have to think about it. And then there's no chance that they're going to fall off. They will always be prioritized. So the next practice that I've added in, this is new, and this did come after the Dispenza event, is thinking about becoming who you want to become, right? That's a big focus of this work, is who is that future version of you, and how do they feel? How do they show up? What are their beliefs? And so every week I've been sitting down for the last several weeks and I've been writing, these are the things that I want to leave behind going into this week. I want to stop doing this. I want to stop getting on my phone at 8:00 at night while I'm laying with my youngest and looking at Instagram. I want to stop whatever comes to mind. So I'll make a list of the things based on the previous week that I would like to leave behind. I would like to intentionally stop doing because they're not in alignment. That also could be, I want to stop responding this way when something happens on the team, whatever comes to mind. And then this is the list of things that I am going to be intentional about this week. These are the things I'm going to bring into this week. And this is where I'm able to bring in certain practices or certain shifts, or I'll even focus on certain habits that maybe have not been a priority. And I don't put too many, like a max of 5. And these are my big focuses for the week. So, for example, recently, for whatever reason, taking my vitamins has been hard for me to remember, which is not usually an issue, but I think I got out of a habit. So, in the last few weeks, one of my habits has been one of my top priorities going into this week is to make sure that every single day I take my vitamins. And I don't have too many, and I've got these kind of priorities. And so each week, this is what I'm leaving behind. This is what I want to bring in. And then when I plan in the morning, every morning, I just look at it. I spend 1 minute and I look at it because then I'm staying aware of it and I am not forgetting. And I think that's a big piece to change is in order for us to not go back to our programming and go back to what actually probably comes easier, at least at first, is the subconscious programming. In order for us to do that, you have to remind yourself over and over and over again. You have to catch yourself in the act over and over and over again. And the more you do it, then the easier it becomes. And then pretty soon, over time, you've changed who you are, period. That's literally the secret. All right, I have 2 more. So another really big priority for me has been lessening our family's screen time. I shared this on Instagram and I got a lot of really positive response from it. So I'll keep it quick because this could be a whole podcast episode, but I am really passionate about limited screen time. And I will die on this hill because I really do think, I don't come from a judgment place, but this is where I stand. I think that kids should not have a lot of screens. My kids don't play video games. They've never played on a tablet. We do let them watch TV. We don't actually have a big TV in our house. They watch it on like an extra iPad and the computer. But anyways, for the last I don't even know how long, probably 7 years, we have let them do what we call movie night. It's not really a movie. They just can watch like Amazon Prime. Sometimes I watch a movie, sometimes I watch a show after dinner. And for the longest time, it was 30 minutes. They could watch 30 minutes of TV every night after dinner. And it became this thing that was like the kids expected it. So like if we were out and we got home late, they were like, but movie night. Like we need our movie night or we need to make it up tomorrow or whatever. And to be honest, in the last year, my husband and I got a little loose with it. So 30 minutes turned into 45 minutes. And, we weren't, I think we were using it as, oh, it's a break for us. Like I can go in the bath or we can take a break. But to me, we became complacent with it. So one of my values is my kids not being on screens very much. I really think that I know that people have arguments that video games and things like that can help them and make them think differently. But I just feel that the negatives outweigh any positive. And while I think as my kids get older, it will be a balancing act. I don't want them to rebel and be so starved of it that they want to go and sneak it. So I will, be aware of that. And I got some comments about that when I posted it on social media. But right now, my kids actually understand why and they totally respect it. Like, I don't just say because I said, I explain to them what it does to their brain. I explain to them that I myself become addicted to my phone, that our brains are addicted to the dopamine that they are designed to be addicting and to not fill your brain with good things. And so my kids are so incredible at imaginative play and can go days without screens once we took away movie night. So I was on a walk with my husband for our date night, maybe 3 weeks ago. And I was like, I think we need to take away movie night. I think we need to take it down to 2 days a week. Our kids are going to be pissed. They have been, in this habit for 6+ years of getting movie night after dinner. Movie night and your dessert. That was our, just turned into our thing. And I'm like, the problem is with the sports and all the things that we're doing, it's becoming we get home from sports at, 6:15. We have dinner. they're watching movie night, and then it's bedtime. And then what happens is movie night ends and they want to still play, but now it's bedtime and now then we're staying up so late. And on top of that, this is during prime family time. Like, my kids are in school, they're with their nanny during the day, I'm working. Like, this time of the day is our family time during the week. I think we need to take it away. And my husband was like, I agree. And so we're just going to rip the Band-Aid off and we're going to do it. And so we told our kids, we're like, look, we know you guys are going to be really upset about this, and it's okay if you're mad at us, but we love you and we really think this is for the best. We're going to change it where you can watch 1 hour of TV on Friday and Saturday night, and that's it for the whole week. And my oldest was the most mad for literally one night, but he was the most mad because he's had it the longest, and he was so mad. And then my middle kind of followed the oldest, and then my youngest didn't care. He's like, okay, mom, if I can hang out with you, he's so sweet. If I can hang out with you more, then that's fine. And seriously, we were like, tonight's the last night. And then it was like Tuesday or Wednesday that week. And then, okay, you can watch it Friday. So it was like a little bit easing them into it. And they're fine. They have not, like, since that one night, they have not complained once. They have not asked. They have not cried over it. Which, if they cry over it, it's fine. Like, we're going to hold that boundary, but they're fine. And it has changed the game. I also told my kids, I said, I am responsible too for my screen time. And so I know that sometimes I'm on my phone when it's our family time, and that's not okay with me. So when I walk in the door at the end of the day from the gym and it's time for family time, you can take my phone and you can hide it, because I wanted to make it fun for them. You can hide it until I need it for my meditation after dinner before they go to bed. And they were like, what? We can hide your phone? So I've been doing that. I've been walking in the door and I hand my phone to my 10-year-old. I'm like, okay, it's yours. You get to hide it. And then we have been playing family games every night. Like, the kids have been going outside, and it's been incredible. So that's just an example of somewhere that I was like, I think we've gotten complacent with this. I think that we haven't analyzed this. And I think that's an important point, because in your business, in your life, in your family, in all these areas that you want to have it all, you have to ask yourself, where have we lost our alignment? And for me, my kids doing 45 minutes of TV, I added it up for my youngest because my oldest, he was the most upset. And so I added it up and I was like, 45 minutes of TV, bud, is like over 6 hours a week. And then I was like, that's this much a month, that's this much a year, and this is this much if you do it in 10 years. Like, that's a lot of hours watching TV. And his response was, I don't care, mom, but I know he did understand. And so for me, I was like, I'm not in alignment with my kids watching over 6 hours of TV in a week. It's not in alignment with our values, but yet we've become complacent with it. And I want more quality time with my kids. And this is quality time this time of the day. And it's been amazing. Like, last night we ate dinner. We didn't have any sports because it's summer, but we had dinner at like 5. And from like 5:30 to 7, we played family games. Everybody was off screens, including my husband and I, which we agreed to. Like, hey, we're going to do this too. We're committing to this too. We played games, we went outside, and then from 7 to 8, I meditated and then put them to bed, and they played while I meditated all together. It's been really great. So I say this to say, I think screens in every family, whether you have kids or not, like, this could just be with your partner, um, are something that you should put intention behind, because it is, I think, the easiest thing to become subconscious with, and use it for dopamine, use it to numb out, use it to lose your connection and lose your presence. So that's a story of what we did in our family recently, and it's been a game changer for us. And I'm so glad that we did it. All right, last practice I want to share with you guys that I have been implementing is embracing the unknown a little bit more. This is something that I've realized through the Dispenza work and through my meditations, honestly, and just kind of what I've been called to, which is our soul wants experience. Like, we chose to come into this world as a human and experience life. Our brain wants predictability. We want to know exactly what's going to happen next. We want to do the same thing every day and fall in this kind of monotonous routine. And then what happens is your soul is like dead. Your soul is like, I'm so bored. This is not what I signed up for. So how do you create more experience? How do you create more aliveness in your life? The unknown, right? Like, it's not very exciting when you know exactly what you're going to do at the exact time of every day. And I realized how easy it is to fall into like, this is the routine every day. We just do this because we do this, or always be like in a hurry to the next thing versus like fully present and experiencing something. So I've been challenging myself, and my husband and I, on our last date night, we had a whole conversation actually about this. So I've been challenging myself to embrace the unknown a little bit more. And how do you do that? And what does that mean? Here's an example. Last week, we took our kids, we went and got passports down. It was far away downtown area of a town that we never go to. And we walk out of the passport office. It's like, I don't know, 4:45. So we need to get home. We got to drive. We got to do dinner. That's on our minds. And we look across the street, and there's like this store that's like something candy shop since 1885. Looked like an old candy shop. And I look at my husband and I'm like, let's go inside. Let's embrace the unknown. Let's do it. And he's like, all right, fine. And my kids are like, so we get to buy candy? And I'm like, yeah, you guys can go pick out a piece of candy. We never would have done that, right? Because we would have been like, we got to get home. We got to start dinner. It's late. We don't want to go to bed late, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, no, just like do these little things. And so I've been trying to find those moments of like, let's do something I normally wouldn't do. Let's shake it up a little. Let's stop in this store. Like, who knows what's going to happen? Maybe we're going to meet someone we're supposed to meet, or realize something, or have a conversation, or find something. I don't know. And even for, like my husband's date night, I'm like, let's go to new places. Let's stop going to the same restaurants. Let's do something different. Let's shake it up a little. And then I was having this conversation with my husband and was like, how do you think that you embrace the unknown more in your life? Because for example, if you meditate every day, it becomes habit. And we got to this realization of this isn't totally doable like every time, but doing things as if you're doing it for the first time versus doing it asleep. So when you are, getting up in the morning and deciding, I'm going to go to my coffee shop that I go to every time, asking yourself, I'm going to go to a coffee shop. Do I want to go to this coffee shop? Do I want to go to this coffee shop? Like, is there a different way? I'm doing it for the first time. Like, what would it be like if you got up in the morning to make your coffee or to do your usual routine, but you did it as if you were doing it for the first time? It'd be a totally different energy. Again, not doable for everything in your life, but it does bring a presence to your life. So I have been trying to really catch myself when I fall into that. This was my schedule. This was my commitment. This is what I'm doing. This is my habit. This is my routine. I got to get to the next thing, blah, 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 blah. And I have been trying to pull out, okay, how do I slow down a little and like pick my head up and embrace, like, maybe there is something better right here. Maybe there is a different thing. Maybe we should go do that really fast, because why not? And when you do those things, it does make you feel more alive. Like when we went into the candy shop, not just us, but my kids were like, oh my gosh, we get to go into a candy shop and get candy before dinner. And we just let them get like one piece of chocolate, but it was something different, and they're going to remember that, right? So I've been really trying to embrace the unknown, because I'm convinced that the magic happens in the unknown, which is just little questions for myself every day. None of these are like massive big shifts. They're all little questions, little awarenesses, little things I'm doing differently to be more present, be more conscious, be more intentional with my days. All right, everybody. I hope you got something out of this podcast episode that you can implement in your own life. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will talk to you next time.